What's the worst case scenario if the 49ers bring back Jimmy Garoppolo?
The worst case scenario?
Yeah.
You mean what happened last season or 2018 again? Which can, you know what? If I was an odds maker, I would set that. Jimmy Garoppolo missing more than half the games, I'd probably set that at like even odds right there. That's how bad it is right there, dude. The fact that this guy has missed 3/4 of the games that he's been with the 49ers, and let's even throw in his career with the Patriots. The guy had a 4 or 5 game sample size and he got injured. You know, there's no explaining it. Some players are just destined to get injured. You know, it's just is what it is. There's no explaining it. Maybe he, as a kid, used to like running under ladders, and that's why he can't get through this. I don't know. Maybe one day he saw a black cat and said, I'm going to punt that cat. And now he's screwed for the rest of his life. I don't know. But the worst case scenario, he's going to get injured. And unfortunately, the worst case scenario is more likely than the best case scenario that any of us just listed.
I'd say the worst case scenario is exactly what happened this season. They're good enough to kind of be in the playoff race, but not bad enough where they get a top 10 draft pick, and they're sitting in that 14 range where they don't have another opportunity to improve the quarterback position through the draft, and they don't make the playoffs, which I think is the goal, is to make the playoffs every year and then hope you can string together 3 to 4 wins. And if they get in that 6-win range, then that's probably the worst case scenario in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with what Jose said and Mav as well. The worst case scenario with bringing Garoppolo back is that he's not able to play. You know, he just misses games so much, and it really kills you when your starting quarterback misses half the games in the season. So if they bring him back, you're just rolling the dice and hoping that he's able to stay healthy.
Okay, so I think we all agree worst case scenario is he gets hurt and misses time. But let me just extrapolate that. What happens? I mean, it happened this year. That's cool. It happened the year after a Super Bowl appearance. No harm, no foul, 1-off. It happens again. He gets hurt again. They have another losing season because they've made it clear that they can't win games with their backup. They've made it real clear. So he gets hurt again. They go 6-10 again, 4-12, 7-9. Now Kyle Shanahan's on the hot seat. He's not getting fired, but now he's on the hot seat because he's now had 4 losing seasons in 5 years, and he chose to bring back Jimmy Garoppolo when it's been painfully obvious that he'd like to move on for quite some time. So you don't get the Jimmy Garoppolo excuse anymore. This is worst case, I'm saying, worst case. Gets hurt, losing season, Shanahan on the hot seat, and now you get another situation kind of like 2019 where he makes a bunch of win-now moves to keep his job. He trades picks for a guy like D Ford, signs a dude coming off a torn ACL like Quan Alexander. This is what they did in 2019 because, believe it or not, I feel like they were on the hot seat at that point too. You can't have 3 losing seasons in a row starting your tenure. So yeah, worst case scenario is this upcoming losing season leads to a bunch of short-sighted moves. And maybe you like that. Maybe these Niner fans have been indoctrinated into the Rams way of building a roster, and they want that kind of stuff. But I think that's what happens. Ultimately, the Niners make moves to keep their jobs if they have to in 2022 because of Jimmy. So that's the worst case scenario right there. Job security for the people in charge, even though they have the extensions. I don't know.
Security.
Well, that's why they're not moving on from him, right? Because he's their safety. He's their safety. You know, safety like their seatbelt, right? Yeah, he's just exactly scapegoat. Because you know, if you get rid of him and whoever you bring in fails, you screwed up. You brought in Jimmy. You know, you got rid of a guy that just took you to the Super Bowl 2 years ago,
right?
You know, and so that's the main reason for them not moving on from him, I think.
Right. So you can just keep putting off replacing him. Because, well, you say it works, you say we win, it's true until it's absolutely painfully obvious that you don't, then you move on. It just extends your clock, right?
Yeah, in a lot of ways.
Survival.
They need to have him stay healthy and lose, really, in order for them to be able to move on from him without having the backlash that they're hoping not to get.
Well, and as you were saying with the hot seat, the ultimate leash extender for head coaches, especially offensive head coaches, is drafting that young quarterback. So if they can delay that extender for another season, I think we're on different pages with Shanahan on the potentially on the hot seat after this season, but that would extend the leash, in my opinion, if they did draft that guy in 2021 or 2022. Sorry.
Good point. And to Jack's point, what was I going to? Oh, yeah. I mean, look what Goff did. It took 2 mediocre seasons from Goff before they moved on. Maybe same thing with, I mean, basically Goff got himself demoted. He got himself traded. Everyone in the world was like, Rams got to do something about that. So I guess at a certain point, it's not a decision the Niners have to make. It's just something that's obvious. Maybe they'll have to get to that. So,
but just kind of obvious
to look forward to, Niner fans.
It's obvious. He's injury prone. At least Goff was healthy. This guy can't even get on the field. You can't even judge. You can't even judge his gameplay when he can't get on the field.
Well, maybe Andrew Luck will come to the Niners because maybe he looked at Michael Lynch and he was like, "Wait a second, that's